Tintin XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we welcome you in. The new drug today is what another gorgeous day it was out here at the Players. My goodness, it was, and I will tell you, about as crowded a field as I can remember. I say field, crowd, big crowd.
Oh, yeah.
And Friday's always a big day.
It's party day today.
I thought for me, Hays, today might have been as big of a crowd on every hole as I've seen in a long time. It was absolutely packed out here. What a fantastic day for golf.
I thought the same thing. It's people are having a wonderful time, and it is packed. When you, particularly obviously around 17, which is, where everybody, has to go for at least a portion of their day. But yeah, a lot of fun out here. I mean, the weather has just been phenomenal. We'll talk, obviously, about whether it will hold up or not. It certainly seems like it's going to get more difficult tomorrow with the wind. And then Sunday, we hope they won't have to alter things greatly with possible rain coming in. But so far this week, I mean, you couldn't have drawn this one up any better. And we see a couple of elite names really made a big move today atop the leaderboard.
Yeah, and what we do have, by the way, is we've already gone to 11, so which means that certainly the possibility to get low. Now, again, that tends to change as the tournament goes along. And in addition to that, the weather, to your point, could factor into this thing. But I will tell you, there's some good golf being played already today. Guys have gone to the clubhouse, Hays, at 11 under par. Minwoo Lee among those.
By the way, you got to tell the story about what we saw yesterday after the show.
It was unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And he's at 11
particularly if he ends up winning this thing.
He's in, and I'll tell it just a minute. And I saw a different one today, too, that's pretty amazing. But Minwoo Lee, I want to say the name right. I'm going to get it wrong. Is it Akshay Bhatia? Help me with that, JJ. Bhatia?
Yes.
Thank you, JJ.
I know he's left-handed. He's very thin. He's very young, and he wears glasses.
Yeah.
Yep.
By the way, not only thank you for confirming it, but thank you for doing it with such confidence. Okay. That was tremendous. But I think it's Akshay Bhatia.
It's definitely Bhatia.
Okay, so Bhatia there. He's at 11. Minwoo Lee is at 11. JJ Spawn is at 10. They're all finished for the day. Colin Morikawa. Hayes' pick on our Loser Monday charged today. Shot 7 under today. He's at 9 under. Do you feel good? You feel good?
I mean, I feel good about today.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we're wrapped up in.
Where's Oberg?
That's the lens that I view things through, in our ecosystem. It's all about today. But the thing that I like about Morikawa is he is intangibly rich.
Right.
And we have seen that come to fruition so far, but it's just today.
Have you seen,
who knows how he'll be this weekend?
Have you seen connective tissue between
I
how
have
he's
seen a little connective tissue between him and his caddy.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. So, so we'll talk about what we saw on the golf course today, but it was a fantastic day. It really was of golf, and there's no bad days of golf out here, but we'll certainly cover that with you today as well. All right, we'll talk some college basketball. The Gators play tonight. We certainly want to get to that coming up a little bit later as we go on the SEC basketball tournament. It's my belief, in my opinion, even if they lost to Alabama, assuming they play Alabama tomorrow, by the way, I'm not sure Alabama's going to beat Kentucky, but that's a conversation for another day. But assuming Florida wins tonight, if Florida wins tonight, I think they are a 1 seed. Even if they lose to Alabama tomorrow, the question among some would be, what if they lose to Alabama and Alabama goes on and wins the tournament? They still won in Tuscaloosa. In my opinion, they're a 1 seed if they win tonight. They're a 1 seed no matter what happens Saturday and Sunday. Agree or disagree?
I think they may already be a 1 seed.
Okay.
And I definitely think if they win tonight, it's solidified. You hear stories about, and each committee is different, but you hear stories in terms of the NCAA selection committee that when they get to Friday, they have already seeded teams 1 through 4,
right? Because
it's so hard for them to adjust on the fly with everything that they've got to take into consideration with rematches and pods and where you're sending teams and things like that. So if that's the case, if this year's committee is going off of that precedent, well, then the hay's in the barn. They've already. And I can't imagine if they decided, all right, by Friday we will have seeded each region 1 through 4, and we're not going to come off of that no matter what happens over the weekend. Well, then I think Florida's a 1. So they may be a 1 already. I certainly think, because Missouri wouldn't be a bad loss on a neutral court, but if they win tonight, it's another good win. And then I can't imagine, losing to Alabama or Kentucky in the semifinal would drop them out of a one. So, again, I think they're in great shape, but certainly a win tonight would probably move it from, 90% to, 95% that they get a one seed.
Yeah, and so in my opinion, we'll see where it winds up going. But at least in my opinion, I think for now they're a one seed. I'm not sure I'm convinced of it today, but I am convinced of it if they win tonight. Having said that, I was with walking around with some buddies today, and they're both Big Ten guys, and one's an Illinois guy, one's a Northwestern guy, but they're buddies from Chicago. They've heard 10 Big Ten teams in a year where the Big Ten's not that great. They're hearing, and they follow the Big Ten like we do SEC. They watch it every day. They watch Big Ten Network, and they read all the stuff. 10 teams from a somewhat mediocre Big Ten could get in.
Well, I mean, again, this is all stemming to the ACC, which normally would produce 10 teams, is only going to probably have 3, maybe 4. But, so obviously those are going to go somewhere, and, those are going to go to the big conferences. You're not going to see very many years where the mid-major conferences are going to get a couple of bids. So, in looking at it, those spots are probably going to be taken up by, the SEC, Big Ten. The Big 12 has had an outstanding year again, so they're going to be very well represented. So you could see, if the SEC gets 14, the Big 10 gets 10, the Big 12 gets, I would think they're going to get double digits.
Yeah, you would.
So that right there is over half your field coming from 3 conferences.
Yeah, so we'll see what winds up happening. We'll talk some college basketball coming up later on in the program. NFL talk. Pete Prisco will join us. I want to hear Pete's take on the signing class. I say the signing class, act like it's college, but the free agent class, it is a class. It's 9 guys. What does Pete think? How does he think they did? What would he have liked them to do differently? Pete Prisco certainly follows it closely, but we have not had the chance to visit with Pete since the legal tampering and then the signing of all these players have happened. So Pete joins us at 5 o'clock. Another thing that's going to be fun. Lee Smith, our friend Lee Smith, who is the executive director of the Players, joins us every day while we're out here. His friend Kareem Richardson is one of his best friends from school. His best friend, they played high school basketball together. They've known each other since grade school. It's his best friend. Kareem comes down here to hang with Lee for golf when he can. Lee goes to every Final Four because Kareem's a longtime college basketball assistant. In fact, he was on that NC State staff last year that went to the Final Four. 1 year later, they're fired. So it's a tough world out there. But Kareem is a good guy, longtime friend. And I'm going to ask him a little bit about the Final Four. What's the pressure like at the Final Four? How much different is the world in the NIL period? So we'll certainly talk about that coming up today on the program as well. Having said all that, things we saw today and last night. Let's start with Minwoo Lee. You made a point last night. You and I are walking around. You made the point about bringing it up. So we get off the air last night, and you and I are walking around just to watch some golf. So we walk over to 18. Minwoo Lee, who is leading the tournament now. And this will make more sense if you know the golf course, okay? We assume everybody does, but not everybody does. But indulge me if this is too elementary for you if you do know the golf course, but not everybody does. 18, which is a very famous hole, not as famous as 17, obviously, but it's a long par 4 with water all along the left, a somewhat narrow fairway, and then woods and straw and a berm and all on the right, based on how far you hit it down. If you hit it far enough, you've got berm and pine straw, and we saw Rory McIlroy, by the way, banging out of the pine straw and make birdie yesterday. So when he was playing the same hole, that's the way the hole sets up. You're either on the fairway, you pull it left, you're in the water, or you block it right, and you're in these trees and pine straw. What you never do is block it further right than the trees and pine straw. Nobody ever hits it over there so far over on the hills that you're almost on the 16th fairway. In the history of the tournament, no one's ever done that. That's what I'm going to make that proclamation. Minwoo Lee, God bless him, hit it so far right. If you know this hole, he was, I would say, I'm not exaggerating. You know where the cart path is right of the, I would say 50 yards right of the cart path. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that.
50 yards right of the, it's all probably closer to the 16 fairway than the 18 fairway. That's how far over it was. So they had a block off, and we couldn't figure out what he was going to do. There was a little window to bunch it out.
At first, we couldn't figure out why we were stopped.
Yeah, right.
Because normally it's a walkway.
And nobody's over. No one's there. Yeah.
Right.
So the other part of the cart path goes to the 16th. So one goes down the 18th fairway, and the other goes to the 16th if you're coming from the green. It was so far right that I didn't even think there was a hole to punch it back into the fairway. Okay, I didn't think there was any way, but he had to do something. So one of the most creative plays, they cleared all the fans out. Then one of the most creative plays I've ever seen, he had to bounce it along the path. He actually had to dribble it up and down the path. That's the only play he had. And sure enough, he hit it. He hit a low bouncer, if you will. It bounced 4 times on the path. The only way he could have gotten it through the straw, bounced 4 or 5 times on the path to where it got to the straw where there's a little opening.
Because if it's a laser, it's in the water.
That's right. And if it doesn't bounce along, if he doesn't bounce it 4 times on that path, then it's in the straw and he's got to punch it out again.
Mm-hmm.
He's got another punch. He used the path to bounce it till it got far enough into the straw where he had a shot, got it up and down for par.
It's incredible.
It was one of the most incredible shots I've ever seen. That's incredible shot number 1 that you saw with me. Okay, that's number 1. It was an amazing shot. Incredible shot number 2, and by the way, he now leads the golf tournament. Okay, Jackson Suber is a young golfer who played at Ole Miss. On number 14, which is another very difficult hole, he bombs the drive. But again, in that hole, by the way, he's got just cart path on the right, but it's got a bunch of grass moguls and mounds, and then water on the left. And it's a very narrow chute to hit your second shot. These are 2 of the hardest holes on the golf course. Hays, he bombs it right, but he hits it so far right, he's over the moguls, over the mounds, gets on the cart path, and starts rolling down. They got great distance out of it, and stops in the middle of the path. It is in the middle of the cart path, okay? Now, when you're on the middle of the path, you get relief. You get your nearest point. Get your stance in your nearest point. Well, if he'd have taken his relief, he'd have been behind a tree. So it's sitting on the concrete path, not one of these walkable paths. This gravel or something. It was cement. It was a cement path sitting dead in the middle of this cement path. So I'm thinking he's gonna take his relief into the straw area, and then try and fade it around a tree. He says, "Nah, I'll play it." He plays it off the road. It's a guy hitting a ball off the sidewalk.
It's like 10 cup.
He's hitting it like off the sidewalk. He looks and we're all gathered around walking. He's laughing, by the way. He was laughing at how it stopped right on there. Jackson Suber, who I've never heard of, grabs it. I don't know. He's probably got a 8-iron, 9-iron wedge, something. He goes up there, grabs it, off the cement, around a tree, hit it to 12 feet. Jeez. Missed the putt, so he made par.
Wow.
But he hit it off. He literally hit it off the concrete. And I'm
That's amazing.
I'm like, it's a better shot than any of us could have hit off Bermuda grass sitting up. None of us could have hit a better shot than. I mean, that tells you what these guys are. And we were laughing about, my buddies and I were laughing about it. You got to be kidding me. He's going to hit this thing off cement.
I mean, that's been the story of the tournament is people's ability to scramble. We saw it yesterday with Rory McIlroy. He only made, hit 4 fairways, still put up a 67. And we saw, obviously, him get up and down for birdie on 18 from the pine straw. So it's a course that it's certainly gettable if you're straight and you're putting it on the green. In regulation, you're going to have a lot of scoring chances, but you've got scoring chances anyway,
right? With
the conditions like this, even if you're not as straight off the tee as you might like to be. But I mean, it's amazing if Minwoo Lee goes on to win the Players. That will become. It happened on a Thursday,
right?
So normally you don't see a lot of first round moments become signature moments because there's just so much of the tournament left. But I mean, even on, like we said, I've never seen anybody over here,
right?
So the PGA Tour tweeted out his hole and every shot that he hit. It's a great video if you haven't seen it because it shows you how far right he went off the tee box. And the commentator said, I've never seen anybody hit it over there.
Right.
So, I mean, it really was something that you don't ever see out here and how he was able to salvage par if he goes on and there's a lot of golf left, but if he goes on to win this, my gosh, I mean, he saved at least one stroke, if not a couple.
Really amazing stuff. So today, we're going to hear from Lee Smith and his friend Kareem Richardson, longtime assistant basketball coach who was in the Final Four just 1 year ago. That comes up later on the program. Pete Prisco in the 5 o'clock hour. He'll assess this Jaguar signing class, if you will. We'll talk some Gator basketball as Florida plays tonight against Missouri, tries to get to the semifinals of the SEC tournament. Are they a one seed or not? Will they win tonight? Got a lot on the table today. But when we come back, let's talk a little golf. We'll give you what we thought. We'll give you some of the scores, our prediction of where this thing might head. We'll update you on our Loser Monday game, all that and more coming up. We're glad you're with us. Do want to thank, as always, on a Friday, our friends from Big Chief Tire Company, the best tire company around with 5 locations on the First Coast. There's the north side. There's the brand new one in Orange Park, the south side, and 2 on the west side. Brakes, tires, those great tires, obviously, alignments, oil changes. If your car is not running right, your first stop is my friends at Big Chief Tire. Back in a moment to talk golf after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
The Players Championship. Here's a 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Leaderboard update.
It's been a spectacular day 2 so far down at TPC Sawgrass for the 51st Players Championship. I'm Max Fink with your Players Championship update, brought to you by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling and Campio & Law. We have some breaking news for you. Wyndham Clark just shook hands with Jordan Spieth and walked off the 9th green. Not sure the reason yet. We'll make sure we get that to you as soon as we find out. But not much movement atop the leaderboard this afternoon. Akshay Bhatia, the lefty out of Wake Forest, his 11 under score paired up with Minwoo Lee, also 11 under. Both of them shot a 66 today. They're atop the leaderboard. JJ Spawn just behind them, 10 under with his 68 today. And then Rory, Colin Morikawa with the low round of the day, 65. And Steven Yeager coming on hot, his 3 straight birdies. He just parred 17. But the 3 of them are in third, right behind Tommy Fleetwood, 66 today, 7 under, along with Jake Knapp. And then for you guys keeping track of the balls in the water on 17, only 5 balls in the water today. Tom Hoagie recently put one in there. It's been a pretty favorable pin, So once again, I'm Max Fink. We'll bring you another Players Championship update in about 20 minutes. Thank you.
The Players Championship is the biggest PGA Tour event you can win.
If you can't make it to the Players, let 1010XL bring the Players to you with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Leaderboard updates. Teed up by Renewal by Anderson, Custom Windows and Doors.
The Deck Guys.
And Taco Lou.
Don't miss the Players Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scotty Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
One thing that separates Beard's Diamonds from those other jewelry stores at the town center, no one's paid on commission.
Nobody at Beard's is on commission. That's more of your corporate stores that pay commission.
Beard's owner, John Lupo, says that means no pressure, no hidden agenda, no extra markups.
And you're getting a better deal. You're not paying the corporate commission. You're not paying the salesperson's commission. If they're paying their salespeople commission, you're starting off in a hole.
And that's why you feel like a number at most jewelry stores, because it's all about making the sale, but not at Beard's.
Because it's a corporate atmosphere and they want to sell you what they want to sell you. We're here to sell you what you want. Our salespeople can do whatever they want to make sure that the customer is happy.
So relax. At Beard's Diamonds, they have all the things you want, like quality education, selection, warranties, and none of the stuff you don't want, like pressure and tacked on commissions.
Nobody's making an extra 5 or 10% on Beard's customers.
Beard's Diamonds, the town center's only locally owned jeweler.
We sell better merchandise, better product for less money, guaranteed.
Here's Linda Beaver.
It's a new year with new goals, but let's face it, not all resolutions are easy to keep. Maybe you promised yourself you'd eat healthier, but pizza still seems like a better idea. Or you said you'd read more, but your favorite show just launched a new season. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, we can help you keep your New Year's resolution. We offer the biggest selection, best prices, and the easiest car buying experience. Let's make a resolution to visit Beaver Toyota or Beaver Chevrolet, where we'll wow you with a new ride for the new year.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
If your high school student is a high performer, they could be 1010XL Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
And the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
Wednesdays on The Frangie Show.
On 1010XL.
Real estate isn't just a job, it's a commitment. With Paige Covington, you get a dedicated partner who's available day or night because buying or selling a home doesn't follow a schedule. Your needs come first. Whether it's finding the perfect home or selling for top dollar, Paige Covington goes the extra mile every time. Meet Paige Covington with England Volkers at String Sports Brewery on Penman Road in Jacks Beach, Friday, March 21st from 4 to 6 for Madness with the Frangie Show. PaigeCovington.evrealestate.com.
Get ready for ice-cold action with the Jacksonville Icemen. Experience the thrill of hockey, the excitement of the game, and the local spirit. Full promotional schedule at JacksonvilleIcemen.com. Join the Icemen for a season full of unforgettable moments.
This is Corona Premier. Just 90 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs. It's a light beer that... Wait, this is a light beer? But we should really tell people about... Right, that's why I'm here. Sorry. Corona Premier, unexpectedly, light beer.
Corona Premier, a light beer with just 90 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs. The premier side of life. For those that are active and on the go, pick some up the next time you're heading out to enjoy the day under the sun. Corona Premier, an unexpectedly light beer.
Plumbing problem? AC not blowing cool? Septic tank backing up? No need to call 3 different companies. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. At Duck Duck Rooter, we do it all. Plumbing, septic, and air conditioning with expert technicians in each department. One company, one call, one easy bill. No hassle, no runaround, just fast professional service from highly skilled techs who know their stuff. Need help? Call 904-862-6769 today and let Duck Duck Rooter handle it all. DuckDuckRooter.com.
If you're heading to the Og or you're already part of the nation's oldest, don't forget to drop into Sunset Grill. For over 30 years, serving up great chowder, seafood, wings, and cold beer. Sunset Grill, somewhere on A1A, St. Augustine Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now back to a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire. Visit BigChiefService.com.
We thank our friends from Big Chief Tire. We always do. Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon with you live from the Players Championship. 5 locations of Big Chief Tire. Now, again, brakes and automotive and oil changes, alignments. They'll take care of your car, and they do a great job. I can assure you of that. All kind of things coming up on the program today. Some NFL talk, some college basketball talk. But let's start with today. You were out here for a while. What jumped off the page, whether it's players, crowds, staff? What did you see today? Because I got a bunch that made you go, wow.
I think conditions, number one. We talked about if you could survive the Thursday afternoon, if you could put up a 2 under, a 1 under, playing in the afternoon, and then be able to come out Friday morning and really take advantage of little wind. The course is still going to be very receptive. And we saw some of the elite players in the game do it. Rory McIlroy took full advantage. Colin Morikawa, who I thought, could have some scar tissue from the close call at Bay Hill last week, where to say he gave it away is a little strong, but Russell Henley probably took it from him more than Morikawa melted down.
I agree.
But still came so close to getting a win to end the victory drought that he's been in. And, to show today, at least again for today, that mental resolve to obviously put it behind him. He may not play great this weekend, but clearly he came to Sawgrass with the right mindset and put up a 65 today. He nearly aced 17, was about an inch away from getting that to roll in, put it up the hill and had it roll back for him. So I would say, Rory McIlroy, Colin Morikawa, it's always going to start with, the elite, players. And for Rory, who's already won here before, to already be in such tremendous shape going into the weekend. And then to see Morikawa, who's got a couple majors under his belt, doesn't have a great track record out here, but again, just 28 years old. So it's not like he's been playing in the Players' Championship for 7 or 8, 9 years. I think this might be his 5th start. But to see those two really take advantage of it, I was surprised. Scheffler is lurking. It's that old kind of, we used to say that with Tiger when he'd be, somewhere in the top 15 heading into the weekend. But I thought Scheffler probably could have gotten more out of his round today than he did. It's still a very solid round, and I think he's at 5 under, going into the weekend. So certainly in position to make a big move tomorrow. And then try for the three-peat on Sunday. But I would imagine, I haven't seen Scheffler's post-round comments. I'm assuming he met with reporters. I would imagine that he probably felt like he left a little meat on the bone compared to what his playing partner Rory was able to do, and then seeing what Morikawa was able to do as well. And it doesn't feel yet like we're seeing anybody in the afternoon group make that kind of run. But again, it's still. It's still 4:30. We're going to have elite players on the course until probably about 7 o'clock tonight. So still many opportunities for guys to really heat up, which is what we've seen. We talked about it with Lucas Glover, the first-round leader yesterday. He birdied his last 4 holes of the round. So if you get hot and you get in the zone out here, the birdies can come awfully quick in these conditions. I mean, really look at the trees. The wind still isn't bad.
Right.
I mean,
and it really hasn't kicked up yet.
Yeah.
I do think tomorrow, for everything you hear, tomorrow is when the wind is going to kind of rear its head. It has not reared its head yet, but all the conversation is that tomorrow is when the wind is really going to.
Here we go.
Lauren Brooks is doing her gator chomp.
Got a gator chomp from Lauren Brooks. Gators by 25 tonight.
I had them by 15 until.
Oh, are you guys playing basketball today?
There's no right. To clarify that for those who are not here, who are not here in the courtyard, he just gave you the U.
Yeah.
And Hays is like, what? What are we doing? But I do. The wind has not kicked up yet. Some things I noticed. That was funny. The crowds are incredible. It's as big a crowd as I can remember on a Friday. It's an alive crowd. There's 3 or 4 areas. That area behind 10, where Taco Lou and that was packed today. Mm-hmm. The area where the Sawgrass.
Taylor Dahl is agreeing with you.
Wasn't it packed? Taylor, you were over there when it was that area.
Taylor, by the way, has the best hat of anybody.
It's a great
on the
hat. Yeah, I mean, there's no question. Well, certainly. I mean, the way people dress is Taylor sets the bar.
That's right.
Okay, and then everybody else dresses after that. Okay, that's the sartorial splendor that she brings. But that was packed. The area behind 17, where the fan shop is. Did you go back there at all?
It looked like a festival.
It looked like a festival.
It was packed.
It was as packed as I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
17 was packed the whole time. 16 was packed. The 18, the chalets along 18, I thought were packed. So very, very crowded. So that stood out. The weather was fantastic. The shot making was tremendous. I sat on 17, 6 or 7 groups. Never saw a ball in the water.
Yeah, I don't think there's been very many.
And maybe there haven't been. We'll ask Lee that.
I mean, honestly, with the conditions this benign, you have to massively mess up to find the water on 17, particularly with the pin up so cllose, because you're not trying to hit it before the pin. You're trying to hit it up on the slope and have it roll back down and possibly get in the cup. So, I mean, shame on any player that hits it in the water today, because you couldn't ask for more magnificent conditions. And it is going to get difficult tomorrow, and that'll be a big storyline, because I think last I looked, they're expecting winds potentially as high as 19 miles an hour tomorrow. So again, if you're in that final group going into the weekend, you're getting to 17 on Saturday at probably around 5:30, 6 o'clock. And if you're dealing with a 20 mile an hour wind, then that can certainly be a massive headache. But for now, I mean, you gotta get this course while it can be had, and
Right.
It can certainly be had right now.
Yeah, and certainly, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous day for golf. No question about it. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna change up our schedule a little bit. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna bring Pete Prisco in now, rather than 5 o'clock. I want to talk some NFL with Pete. That comes up in just a bit, and then Lee Smith and Kareem Richardson will be here at 5 o'clock. Gives them. Kareem just got to town. Just got out of an Uber here, so he and Lee will come by a little bit later on. That way they're not rushing to get over here. Pete said he's comfortable to do that. So here's the way the schedule works. Pete Prisco comes up in about 5 minutes, 8 minutes. He's going to talk some Jaguars with us. That comes up in just a bit. So Pete Prisco at 4:40. Lee Smith, the executive director of the players, and assistant basketball coach Kareem Richardson will join us at 5 o'clock. We'll have headlines after that, and then we'll wrap the program. So let's take a break. Let's talk some NFL. What does Pete Prisco think of the Jaguars free agent haul? That's next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
The Players Championship. Here's a 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Leaderboard update.
I'm Max Fink with your Players Championship update. This update brought to you by Roundtree Sod and the Deck Guys. Still no update on Wyndham Clark withdrawing after just 27 holes of the Players Championship. He leaves Jordan Spieth to play by himself as his other playing mate, Jason Day, withdrew before the tournament started on Thursday morning. Akshay Bhatia and Minwoo Lee, both 11 under, sitting atop the leaderboard. We'll get to some fan favorites here as Rory McIlroy had another impressive day with his 67. He's tied for fourth right now, 9 under par. Billy Horschel, the Florida Gator and Ponte Vedra native, tied 11th. He is sitting at 6 under. Scotty Scheffler, Ricky Fowler, and Will Zalatoris are all tied for 15th, sitting at 5 under par. And the cut line for this weekend is going to be projected at 1 under par. So Jordan Spieth currently sitting 2 under. He's looking pretty favorable as long as he keeps up that good golf. Continue listening into the players for players updates about every 20 minutes right here on 1010XL. I'm Max Fink once again with a players update.
Hey, it's Adam from Counting Crows, and we were going to hire a typical Loud Radio guy to tell you about the summer's Complete Suites tour, but I wanted to just invite you myself. Guess I should. Old songs, new songs. We'll be joined by our friends, the Gaslight Anthem. It's a summer butter miracle. Come and hang with us. Okay, your turn now.
Saturday, July 19th, St. Augustine Amphitheater. Tickets on sale now at theamp.com.
This is Hays Carlyon from my friend Holt at Harold and Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold and Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
New and pre-owned firearms are always in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimbar, Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Okay, sports fans, Hicken here. Let's talk skin. I and Beach's Dermatology are reminding you all to wear your sunscreen. Spring is here, and that means more time outside. Grabbing the clubs for your tee time? Bring the screen. Heading out on the boat? Bring the screen. Headed to the beach? Definitely bring the sunscreen. All in all, make sure sunscreen is included in your outdoor activities. If you have any concerns now, give Beach's Dermatology a call. I've been seeing them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Call today online at beachesdermatology.com. Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, buddy, you look worried.
Worried? I'm apoplectic!
You're what now?
I'm freaking out, Jason. Stupid water heater crapped out, so I haven't showered since Thursday. I start smelling a little funky, blow my big corporate job interview tomorrow. I'll end up settling for some dead-end career selling spatulas on the internet.
Dude, stay cool.
There's nothing cool about a cold shower, Jason. I mean, I know how that sounds, but
Bueller Air and Plumbing can get a new water heater installed today. The day you call. You could be smelling fresh again by dinner time.
wait, you can do that?
Put on these sunglasses.
Whoa.
Is that cooler?
Oh, yeah.
Well, life moves pretty fast. If you spend much more time smelling like this, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Who's new? Get to know who and why they're a good fit on the First Coast.
This man right here does whatever it takes.
Free agency profiles are covered by Universal Roof and Contracting. Roll through the offseason with AA Automotive and 1010XL.
Welcome to AT&T. How can I help?
Hey, I thought I could trust my twins with my phone, but they outnumber me, man.
Oh, that's a lot of glitter paint. Let's trade
lives.
At AT&T, everyone can trade in an old or glittered iPhone any year, any condition, and save on a new iPhone. Ask how to get iPhone 16 Pro on us. New and existing customers. Savings vary by device and trade-in combinations. Restrictions apply. See att.com for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Spring is in the air. Time to wake up your lawn with Heroes Lawn Care. Say goodbye to pesky mosquitoes with their organic and spray treatments. Perfect for outdoor fun. Keep your lawn clean and fresh with their pet waste removal for homes and businesses. Heroes Lawn Care takes care of it all. From mowing, edging, fertilizer, to irrigation, and much more. Visit heroeslawncare.com.
Reclaim a pain-free life with Rebound Rehab. If you've been injured or simply feeling the effects of an active life, you can rely on Rebound Rehabilitation to get you back in the game. Sitting on the sidelines isn't any fun. Trust Rebound Rehab's team of trained physical therapists to get you back up to speed and feeling full again. Now more convenient than ever. 11 locations to serve you, including new offices in Riverside across from St. Vincent's, Point Meadows, and Middleburg. Just log on to reboundrehab.com to see all they've got to offer.
Hey, this is Darren with One Call Lawn and Pest Control. Since 2011, we've taken great pride in being Northeast Florida's premier lawn, termite, and pest control company. Our technicians receive thorough training year-round, focusing on exceptional customer service with meticulous attention to detail. One Call serves the greater Jacksonville area, including St. Augustine, Orange Park, and Fernandina. We're eager for the opportunity to earn your business and welcome you to the One Call family. Call or text us for a free quote. 413-8377.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time for all things Jaguars and NFL with Pete Prisco. The Prisco Report, presented by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Showtime.
On The Frangie Show.
All right, it is time to talk a little NFL with Pete Prisco. Pete, kind enough to move the time around a little bit so Lee Smith and Kareem Richardson can get by here in just a minute. Pete, thank you for being flexible, buddy. You playing golf right now? Is that the word on the street?
Yeah, trying to. I don't know if it's playing golf is the actual description for it, although I just parred the last hole, so I'll take it.
Yeah, we played a lot of golf. You play okay. I'll bet he's playing better than he's letting on. Pete hits it just fine, so I'll bet you're playing okay.
Yeah, but this is the second time since last July. You know how the season is, so you got to get back into it.
I get it. I totally get it. Pete, so we won't keep you forever, but the 9 new Jaguars, I can tell you they got the 9 they wanted. They targeted 9. They offered 9. They got them. How did you feel about the way they went about it? The 9 they got, the ones they didn't keep. Big picture, what do you think?
They did it the right way. I mean, look, they wanted to get upgrades at certain spots on the roster so they didn't force themselves in the draft, and I think they did that. The offensive line, look, Hainsey's not a great player, but he's a good player. He's tough. He's physical. Getting McCarr, big for them at right guard. So they upgraded there. I think De'Ami Brown's a better player than people give him, credit for being. He really showed up late in the season last year. And then I think, the other spots they added in some nice pieces. I like what they did. I think they did it the right way. Are all of them going to be stars? No. Is the roster now deeper and better? You bet.
What do you like about Jordan Lewis and Eric Murray in the secondary?
I think Jordan Lewis is one of the feistiest, toughest little corners, not little, but corners in this league, because he never got the due he deserved. He was probably one of the better defenders on the Cowboys last year, and people know that. And anybody who was looking to get a cornerback was well aware of that. In fact, the Cowboys wanted to bring him back. I think he's a really good player. I think it was a smart signing. I know he can play inside. I know he can play outside, and they have some options now with those guys. And I think they said that yesterday. So I think it's a good signing. Murray's more of a veteran presence. He's not a great player, but he's a good, smart player on the back end. And, they had so many mistakes back there last year, and guys who wouldn't tackle and guys who missed tackles and guys who busted coverage. Murray's going to give them some stability back there.
Back to De'Ami Brown for a second. I think McCarry's the most important player they got. He's the best. He's a physical right guard, and they got to get more physical at the line of scrimmage. Hainsey knows the offense, so he'll help too. But I think this might hinge a little bit on De'Ami Brown. If he's what they think he is, an outside threat who's just now starting to come into his own, Pete, playing opposite Brian Thomas Jr., that could be a really big find. I find myself thinking the 1 year, $10 million for 1 year is a gamble, but might be a gamble that really pays off for them.
It really isn't that big a gamble, though. I mean, but the flip side of that is if he really does have a good season, then you're going to probably look at trying to pay him. So he's taking a bit of a gamble on himself. But I'm with you. Look, he was on my better-than team when he came out. I liked him when he came out of North Carolina. I think he kind of didn't quite get to where I thought he would do early in his career. But last year, down the stretch, he was a big part of that offense. And you can get him the football. He can go. He's got some speed. And I think he's going to be a nice compliment to Brian Thomas Jr. I love that move more maybe than most people around the media did, because I think he's going to be a good player.
As we start to kind of turn our attention now to the draft with the first wave of free agency behind us, anything changed in how you think the Jaguars should approach the draft? What would you like to see them do at 5 and with that high second rounder in the 2/3?
Well, I think if you get to 5 and Graham and Hunter are gone, I think you got to look to get out of it. I think that's the smartest thing to do. Move down, get some more picks, and then you can draft some other guys. And if you move down the board, because I think those two are the two you target. If the quarterbacks don't go, I don't think you're going to have you might not have a chance to get either one of them. So you're kind of going to be in no man's land. If you're stuck at number 5, what do you do? Do you draft one of the offensive linemen? Probably too high for him. Do you draft, McMillan? It all depends on if he runs. And that's the other thing now. You're starting to hear people say that he might run at his pro day, but what happens if he runs 4.8 at his pro day? Then what? So I think there is concern for what will be available at that number 5 pick if the two quarterbacks don't go.
Pete, what's the chatter around the league about what they've done? And listen, people are chattering around the league about all 32 teams. I get that. But the people with whom you've spoken, other than your opinion, what's sort of the talk around the league about their haul, if you will?
Fiscal responsibility, but still adding to the roster. That's what most of the guys I talked to said, and I think that's what it was. You didn't go break the bank for 2 guys. They could have went and got Will Fries, but look at the money he got. I mean, they didn't do that. Instead they went and got McCarty, who's a good, tough, physical player who's played up and down the line. He's a good guy to have around. Not only that, is if he isn't starting down the road, he's a good guy to have on your roster for depth. So I think their fiscal responsibility, adding to the roster, and being able to be flexible in the draft. There's still a hole at defensive tackle. Let's be real. And there were guys that they were going to try and target, free agency guys that went back to their teams. But I think that to me is still the glaring hole in that roster, is to find a defensive tackle in the middle of that defense.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I what I've been told is, listen, they would have loved to have gone and gotten Jonathan Allen or whoever, but because they needed 9, 10, 11 guys, they got 9. They couldn't put any money into one guy that was going to be expensive. That's what I was told, and that's what I think happened, Peter. You see, I mean, if you didn't need 9 guys, if you needed 4, then you could have gone and gotten an expensive guy. Isn't that the way did you see it that way?
Yeah, and they had too many positions of need, particularly on that offensive line that they had to address. And you get the backup tackle. I mean, he's a good guy to have around. That's the one thing. You look at their roster over the years, they haven't had backup linemen in recent years. It's been a problem. Now they do. So I think doing it that way was the smart thing. And it wasn't sexy. It wasn't, everybody, go get this guy, go get that guy. the high, but they got more game than name, and I always say that, and that's a good thing to do. And I think they did it the right way. I give them a lot of credit. Now, is it going to put them over the top? Probably not. You got to draft well. This is a big draft for them, and I think that's the focal point right now. They got to get guys in there that can come in and contribute right away.
Around the league, who stood out to you in a good way or in a negative light?
Well, I think there's a couple teams. I think New England spent a lot of money, but they had to. And you look at what they did on defense. You go get Carlton Davis to pair him with Christian Gonzalez. You get a pass rusher in Landry. You go get Milton Williams. Now, did they have to overpay? Absolutely. But when you look at their roster, they had tons of room. They had an owner that was willing to pay. So they had to do it that way. Sometimes you're just forced to do it that way. So I think New England did a really nice job. The Bears on the surface did a nice job with their middle of their offensive line. But, again, I go back to something that I said last week. Does the center fit their scheme? They paid him a lot of money. Does he fit their scheme? We'll find out. The left guard, Joe Tooney, is 32, and he's in the final year of his contract. You're going to have to pay him. The other guard they got from the Rams, Jackson, was benched last year. And so, yeah, on the surface it looks like they had a great free agency class to fix that offensive line. But there are questions about every single one of them.
Pete, what happens now with Aaron Rodgers? Obviously, everything you read is the Steelers or the Giants or not playing. Neither team seems to be able to get an answer. The Steelers bring in Mason Rudolph to be, I guess, the backup, who's just an average player at best. I'm not even sure what else the Giants might do if they don't get him. What happens with that whole scenario?
It's interesting because Rodgers is loving every bit of this, and so I think he's going to play for the Steelers or not play. That's what I think. I think that's probably where he wants to go. It's probably the right place for him. But again, there's some talk that the Vikings might make a call and try and talk to him about that. I don't know why you would do that. It'd be great if you're Aaron Rodgers, that's great for you. If you're the Minnesota Vikings, that's not good for you. In large part because you drafted that other kid, J.J. McCarthy, to play, and you don't want Rodgers in there. But I think the Steelers will make a lot of sense. I don't see him going to the Giants. It just doesn't seem like a spot where he would go in there and transform that team and make them a contender. So what are you doing? You're doing kind of what you did last year. So I think it's Steelers or bust for him.
Getting back to the draft with Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, what do you think the odds are that neither of them go in the first 4 picks?
I'm hearing more buzz about Ward these days. I think he will. A lot of good tape on him. There's a lot of bad tape on him, too. But, guys are desperate for a quarterback, and those teams at the top are desperate. Tennessee's desperate. The Giants are desperate, really desperate, by the way. So I do think Ward will go. Sanders might fall. Don't forget about Cleveland, too. They still, even though, whatever they do, they're going to have to get a young quarterback, too. So I think they'll go, but there's a chance that Sanders might fall a little bit.
What do you think in Indianapolis? They signed Daniel Jones to, quote-unquote, compete with Anthony Richardson, but it almost seems like to me Daniel Jones is going to be their quarterback. And I shouldn't say that. I don't know that, but that's the way it felt to me, that he's going to go a place where he's got a really good chance to be the starter. How do you think that plays out?
I do think he goes in there and wins the job. I mean, you don't sign Daniel Jones and Daniel Jones doesn't go there with the idea that he's not going to be the guy. And so, look, can Anthony Richardson go in there and wow him in the preseason? Absolutely. But will he? I mean, has he given you any indication that he can do that? I haven't seen that. So I would say that Daniel Jones will be the starting quarterback for the Colts early in the season. And then, what did you admit your mistake on Anthony Richardson? That's the question. That's always tough to do, particularly for that regime, because they haven't won it in a long time, and there's a lot of heat on them.
Do you like what the Texans have done?
I don't like getting rid of Laramie Tunsil. Look, Shaq Mason wasn't very good last year. You replace him with Ed Ingram, who was awful last year in Minnesota. The offensive line has not improved at all, I don't think. And so I think if you look at it from that standpoint, they aren't a better football team right now. And I worry about that because the offensive line is what was the undoing of that team last year. And so you look at it from that standpoint, I think they've gotten worse, and that's a concern.
Final thing, and then go play golf. Thank you for your time. Evan Ingram to Denver with Bo Nix and Sean Payton. I think that's a really good fit. What do you think?
I do. I think, Sean always likes to have a guy in the middle of the field that he can get the ball to. Back in the day it was Jimmy Graham. And I think Ingram is that guy. Now, is Evan Ingram the same player he was a couple years ago? No. And I think the yards per catch shows that. But in that offense, they have Bo Nix. He's creative. He can get him on those little boots and get him the ball in space. And then you also have the guys on the outside. And they have young receivers they really like. I talked to Sean Payton about that at the Combine. Troy Franklin, he thinks he's going to be a star. And so I do think it's a good move. It's great for Evan Ingram, and I think it's great for the Broncos.
Pete Prisco checking in, brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles, as always. Pete does great work. Pete, go back to the golf course. Hit him straight, brother. We appreciate your time. Thanks, man.
You got it. Take care, Frank.
All right, Pete Prisco. Pete again, and Pete was wrapping up. By the way, he was planning on being done before his 5 o'clock hit. And he was kind enough to switch for us. So, thank you for doing that, Pete. The reason we did that is Lee Smith's good friend, his best friend, Kareem Richardson, college basketball coach, is going to join him on the program. But Kareem got to town a little bit late, so let's flip him. We said so, and everybody was accommodating. We sure do appreciate that. Before we break, what do you think of the whole Aaron Rodgers, Steelers, Giants? Russell Wilson trying to find a team too. What do you make of that whole scenario?
If I were the Steelers, and I know this isn't how they operate, but if I was the Steelers, I might buy in and let him be a little bit of his diva self. Yeah. But I might do a little smooching because I think if you can get Aaron Rodgers onto that team, where I think you've got a potentially very good defense, and now you've added DK Metcalf on a huge contract, and assuming they keep George Pickens, they may not, but assuming Pickens is there, if you add Aaron Rodgers to that, and I'm talking about the one we saw last year. I mean, we saw him here in Jacksonville. I think he still has enough. He's not prime Aaron Rodgers, but it's 75% of that player who's a first ballot Hall of Famer with Metcalf and Pickens, and I think a competent ground game. I think Pittsburgh could be a threat.
Well, everything you read tells you that both Pittsburgh and the Giants do want him. They've both offered. Who knows what the dollars are? Who knows if the dollars are the same? But everything you read, and again, I read all these Pittsburgh papers because I'm a Pirates fan, so I read all these Pittsburgh websites about the Pirates, but now they're overwhelmed with, because I don't think the Penguins are very good either, so I think, like the Pirates, so if they're overwhelmed with all these Aaron Rodgers stories, and apparently Aaron Rodgers is right now where both New York and Pittsburgh have kind of rested their hopes. Now, the Giants are also bringing in Russ Wilson, as the Browns just did, which means they're not sure they're going to get him. I would think if you're Aaron Rodgers, you go to the better team that has a better chance to have a good team.
Why would you go to the Giants?
Yeah. Well,
who are you throwing to? I mean, you got neighbors.
Yeah,
but
those are the two teams that he's going to pick one. He's going to pick one of those two teams, or he's not going to play. And so, but it's what a bizarre, interesting story, because when Russell Wilson went to the Steelers, I didn't love where I thought that was headed, and it was a disaster. The Steelers, if they'd have showed a little love to Justin Fields, probably could have kept him from going to the Jets, but they didn't love him.
And I don't blame them.
Yeah, they didn't love Justin Fields. They didn't love Russ Wilson.
If I told you right now Aaron Rodgers is a Steeler, do you think Pittsburgh can win 11 games next year?
I do.
I do too.
They won 10 last year.
Which is exactly why I think they should be aggressive in making that.
Not only did they win 10 last year, they were 10-3. Now, they collapsed at the end of the season, but they got off to a 10-3 start, not because of anything Russ Wilson or Justin Fields did, is because they're good on defense, and they're physical, and they're tough, and their special teams are really good. The Steelers.
They were winning in spite of the quarterback.
Yeah, they were correct. That's exactly right.
And now I don't know that Aaron Rodgers elevates you, but you're not going to lose games because of him, and he's not going to have to manage games for you. I mean, he is going to give you enough talent there where, DK Metcalf and George Pickens, that's an exciting receiver combination. I mean, good luck covering that in terms of their ability to not just get deep, but to just catch the ball right over you.
And that's the part that I thought they really dropped off a little bit last year. I thought there was a significant. I mean, I thought Rodgers dropped off. Even seeing him here, I felt like he had dropped off a little bit, but it'll be interesting to see the way it plays out. Let's take a break. We are live here at the Players Championship on this Big Chief Tire Friday. When we come back, we'll welcome in our friend Lee Smith. He'll be joined by Kareem Richardson, longtime college basketball assistant coach. All that and more we continue. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
The Players Championship. Here's a 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Leaderboard update.
We're hitting that 5 o'clock hour at day 2 of the Players Championship. I'm Max Fink with your Players Championship update. This one brought to you by Surfside Pools and Spas and Doorbell Fresh Farms Produce Delivery. Guys, don't look now, but Justin Thomas is playing some phenomenal golf today. He just made his 3rd straight birdie Yesterday, he shot a 78. Today, he's 8 under and 2 over for his overall score. That's plenty to be inside the cut line, so he could be in contention as this weekend goes on. Trying to catch the 2 leaders in the clubhouse, Akshay Bhatia and Minwoo Lee. Bhatia's already a one-time tour winner. He won the Barracuda Championship back in 2023. And Minwoo Lee is still looking for that first tour win. His sister, Min Ji Lee, is a 2-time major winner on the LPGA Tour. So maybe some bragging rights in the family there if he can catch her this week, getting his first tour win. The German Steven Jaeger is sitting at 9 under today, keeping Rory McIlroy and Colin Morikawa company. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with another update in about 20 minutes. I'm Max Fink once again with your Players Championship update.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Boots, and for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Offices in Jacksonville. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Rick Julius, licensed in Pennsylvania only. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. One of the biggest changes we've seen in fine jewelry over the last 25 years has been the growth of jewelry designers. At Underwoods, we're the leader, bringing to North Florida the best names in designer jewelry. In fact, we carry designer lines in a similar way to how clothing stores carry designer labels. The difference is that jewelry designers have to be a little more timeless in their presentations because nobody wants to buy a fine piece of jewelry only to find out the next year it's gone out of style. That's why you'll find at Underwoods the best of the jewelry designer names, those that are tried and true and popular. Names like David Yerman, Roberto Coin, John Hardy, Marco Bichigo, Jude Francis, Lagos, Hippolyta, and a lot more are all available right now at Underwoods. So if you want the best looks in designer jewelry, stop by Underwoods. San Marco, Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Catch Gators baseball all season long on 1010XL. Pitched by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Florida Gators. You can't go inside your home team's locker room, so Jags beat reporter Hays Carlyon goes there for you.
Work on three, 1, 2, 3.
Hays Carlyon here. Find my blog at 1010XL.com.
Brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count. This free agency profile is brought to you by Universal Roof and Contracting. Experience the universal difference.
After spending his entire 8-year career with the Dallas Cowboys, Jordan Lewis is signing with the Jacksonville Jaguars. In the most recent season, he allowed a completion rate of 71% with 1 interception and 5 pass breakups. Lewis is reportedly set to become the highest paid nickel corner in the league. However, Jacksonville believes that this signing is worth every penny.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Plumbing problem? AC acting up? Septic tank trouble? Don't waste time calling 3 different companies. Just call Duck Duck Rooter.
We offer plumbing, septic, and air conditioning services, making it easy for you to work with one trusted company and one simple build. Every department has highly skilled experts trained for the job. For fast, reliable service from a company that does it all the right way, call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Don't miss the Players' Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scottie Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Thinning or balding hair? Introducing Scalp Micropigmentation now at IHRS. SMP is a procedure for men and women, looks like your own growing hair, and corrects thinning areas. SMP is perfect for men and women who shave their head and want a full head of hair look. Call IHRS now, 904-777-IHRS, 904-777-4477, or visit hairforme.com today.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now back to a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire. Visit BigChiefService.com.
And we welcome you back. Glad you're with us live at the Players' Championship. Our final day here. Frank Frangie with you. Our friend Lee Smith, the executive director of the Players, joins us every day. And his buddy Kareem Richardson is here as a guest, a longtime college basketball assistant coach. Kareem, how are you, man? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Now, let me ask you, we'll get to this golf and basketball stuff in a minute, okay? I want to know what Lee Smith was like as a high school player. Could he shoot it?
He could really shoot.
He could shoot. So is he a guy that just stood out there behind the arc?
Yes.
That's what he did, right?
That's all he did.
That's about it, right?
Clapping his hands, asking for the ball.
Yeah. Never met a shot he didn't like.
Exactly.
I haven't even asked you. I had a hunch that's who you were.
Yeah.
You were that guy, right?
Well, I tried to defend.
Yeah. Tried a little.
Wasn't very successful at
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But I think, as I said yesterday, my guy was normally guarding Kareem also.
Right. So you were open.
I usually was open.
Kareem, a lot of years in college basketball, most recently NC State, which included a Final Four run last year for you guys. What was that like? What was it? I mean, everything, all the people there, the shoot around in the morning when everybody. Describe that for us.
Really, you talk about surreal, a really surreal moments, especially the way we did it. Every game we had 9-game stretch where it was the true definition of win or go home, even in our ACC tournament. So to be able to do it in the fashion we did, ACC tournament, we won 5 games in 5 days, and then most people, first of all, they don't even expect you to do that. And then once you get to the NCAA, they're like, they're going to bow first round, and then we win 4 more games to go on to the Final Four. But that experience was unreal, just the way we did it. And so, to be there and go to practices and there's 15 to 20,000 people, and then the game is 70+ thousand people there. So just an awesome thing, and a group of guys that we'll always cherish it with.
I remember when Florida went under Donovan for the first time. They'd gone under Lon Kruger in '94, but they went under Billy for the first time in 2000. And I can remember, Kareem, Billy telling his team, "You got to be prepared for the practice." Not just the game. It's just you've never had a practice like this.
That many people.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a cool thing. And listen, I told Lee this the other day, and I'll ask you this now. I know there's ups and downs in college basketball. It seems harsh to me to go to the Final Four and then have the staff get let go a year later. I mean, I know it's the world we live in.
Yeah.
But gosh, it seems rough.
Not what have you done for me lately, but what have you done for me right now?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way it's gotten into, and but it certainly has. Since I've been in it for 20+ years, and it certainly has changed in a lot of respects, and that's one of them. Just the highs are high and the lows can be low, and if they're too low, you're not going to be around too long. So unfortunately, but we've signed up for it, but I also do think that's why some of the older quote unquote older coaches are just like, I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and retire.
No question.
And watch you young guys do this.
Started with Jay Wright. Jay Wright had 20 years left if he wanted to. He said, "The hell with this."
Yeah,
I'm
done.
He really did. Lee Smith with us as well. How you doing?
Doing well.
How's
Doing
today
well.
been?
I mean, I want to add on to that. I think I think I saw in Kevin's post online talking about leaving a program better than you found it, which I think there's no way having first Final Four in however long that
40 years.
Yeah, that group certainly didn't leave that program better than they found it.
Well, Final Fours are freaking fun. They're fun for the fans. They're fun for the alumni.
And they're hard.
They're hard. Yeah,
hard
to
get to.
But I mean, I can still remember. I'm telling you, when Florida, I'm a Florida grad as well as covering them. When Florida went in '94 under Lon Kruger, had never been before. I mean, the ecstasy around here. We're not even in Gainesville. I mean, it was like nothing you can imagine. I mean, it's an amazing.
And was that Andrew DeClerc?
That was DeClerc, Dimitri Hook,
the Meat Hook,
the Meat Hook, Craig Brown, Dan Cross. That was a great.
Because Dan Cross was Carbondale, right?
He's from Carbondale.
He was
Carbondale, Illinois.
And a physical point guard. He would back guys down.
Yeah.
He was that guy. Yeah, it was a real one of the most fun teams I ever covered. And I got to know Lon really well. He was a wonderful guy, and so it was one of the best teams I ever covered. So, anyways, how's today? How's day two?
Really good. Really good. Got our marquee group out there with Scheffler and Xander and Rory early, and certainly Rory put his name towards the top of the leaderboard, which is certainly exciting heading into the weekend. Minwoo Lee, which is as exciting of a player, as there is up towards the top, and Scheffler is lurking, right in a great spot, and obviously with the weather and great turnout, we're always happy with the great support and that type of thing. So,
did you see Minwoo Lee on 18 yesterday?
I did not.
Did you hear about it? Hits it right.
Oh, yeah, he hit it into the deck.
Hit it in the deck.
Yeah.
And then bounced it across the. It had 3 or 4 bounces on the path on the cement path, to where, and then he got up and down for par.
Yeah, I did see that. That was as we were driving up here. I told K. Rich that I said that's called the deck.
Yeah.
And I said that's probably where you would hit it. but
100%.
Yeah,
or the water.
Yeah.
The water's on the other side. You have 2 choices.
But no, I did see that. I was like, we build that product to get it out of competition, and Minwoo hit it in there.
I saw 2 things. I saw that yesterday, and I saw something I've never seen before today. I said this earlier. Jackson Suber, who's a young player from Ole Miss. I've never seen this before. He's on 14. And by the way, I'm glad you put the Grass Moguls on 14 because it wasn't hard enough before. So that's so good.
It's a hard hole.
And so he hits it right. Lee, he hits it. He bombed it, but way right on the path, and then rolls down the path on the cement, and stopped in the middle of the cement, like right in the middle of the cement, or not asphalt. It's dark, but it's cement. It stopped in the middle of the cement path. So his relief, his near relief, the rules official. I'm standing right there. And his relief would have been behind a tree. If he takes his relief, he says, now hit it off here.
Has to hit it off the path.
And I've never seen that. I'm thinking, what are we doing here? Okay, I mean, I'm like you, Kareem. I'd have been hitting it in the water in the deck. Lee, he went up there, hit it on the face, one of the sweetest swings, hit it to 11 feet. Now, he missed a putt, but I'm thinking, off the cement.
Off the cement.
I've never seen it. Honest to God, I've never seen that. You've seen it? You've seen it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I remember probably one famous one was. I can't remember who it was, but it down the left on a cart path, and I think what the amateur golfer doesn't realize is that you do get a drop off the cart path, but the drop off the cart path has to be your nearest point of relief.
That's correct.
So as a right-handed player, you step off the cart path and then where the ball would be if you approached your shot. Whereas sometimes, depending on the direction you're going, even though the ball is dead in the middle of the path, there is still always a nearest point of relief because you have to get your feet off of the path and then you have to drop the ball. So sometimes your nearest point, you don't get to choose.
Right.
A lot of amateur players think you get to choose what side I want.
Right.
It's the nearest point of relief, and sometimes the nearest point might be behind a tree or in a bush or whatever. So you then have to choose to either you want to drop it in a bush, which you don't want to, or you got to play it as it lies.
Yeah. And it was what an amazing shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the shot that most of us couldn't hit off puffed up Bermuda. He hit off but a good day today. It was as big a crowd as I've seen. I've been here every year. It's as big a Friday crowd as I've seen.
Yeah.
Does it feel that way to you?
Yes, absolutely. And numbers say that 3 or 4% up over prior year was through our 2 or 3 o'clock reading. So again, we talked about it yesterday. Sold out Saturday. Been sold out for 3 days now. Friday was almost there. Just a reminder, we drive that off of fan experience and want to live at the highest level of fan experience and concession stands and parking and egress and ingress, all those things. And Friday we didn't quite get there, but certainly awesome support, great momentum, and then headed into tomorrow with what looks like really, really good weather. And enjoyable weather for the fan, but ultimately just a little bit of wind, which I think is, maybe test the player a little bit more than they already are.
I've seen some of the baseball teams have moved Sunday's games to Saturday doubleheaders for fear of the weather. Is there any chance you'd move starting times up? How does that work?
I think there's always a chance, Frank. Our meteorologist that is on site really focuses on the last 36 hours, and we're obviously not quite there yet. The 36 hours really allows them to dial in an hour-by-hour forecast, which will then get us to when is this arriving, the exact hour. And so once we find that out, we'll start to make plans for Sunday. Right now, it looks like there's a really good chance that we can get this in.
Okay, without having to do any of that.
Right now. So I would say mid-morning to midday tomorrow, we'll start to make those plans when we get that hour-by-hour forecast. But right now, as we speak, weather looks great for Sunday, a majority of the day. We're going to get a lot of golf in. I think there's no doubt that we're going to get a lot of golf in all the way through Sunday. But here in the next 12 to 18 hours is when we'll make that decision.
Lee Smith with us, Executive Director of the Players, and Kareem Richardson, longtime assistant basketball coach, with us as well. All right, I'm a Gator. Okay, I don't know if you get to watch. Well, you guys are coaching. If you get to watch other basketball, can I get to the Final Four, Kareem? I mean,
100%.
They're good, right? I mean, they're legitimately can do that. Right?
They have they can score it and they can defend. They have length. They have all the pieces. A guy that I work with, Brett Nelson.
Brett's on the staff. We talked about this yesterday.
He's on staff, and he went to the Final Four his freshman year. Heck of a player, two-time All-SEC player. So another reason why I know a little bit more about Florida this year.
And by the way, Brett, and I meant that we talked about this yesterday. I told you Brett was one year on that staff with you. Brett had a lot to do with that team getting to the final, to the championship game. He's a good player.
Very, very good. He had on social media they tweeted out the other day where he, as a freshman, he had 18. He had a game of 16 and 18 leading up. But no, he was as a freshman, he was a heck of a player.
They started. This is my nerdiness in the weeds stuff. But they started Teddy Dupay and Kenyon Weeks, the guard. But Brett was the best player.
Yeah.
So their best guard was the guard off the bench. He was a freshman. He was a fantastic player. Cooper Flagg is hurt. Any insight on how badly he's hurt?
No, I just watched it on TV, and I mean, if you've sprained your ankle as many times as I have, I just cringe.
I'll bet.
He's on the ball of his foot, and it looked like he touched, and he was in a wheelchair. They would be silly to play him tonight. I think the game starts at 6 or so, Duke Carolina, but they would be silly to. They have bigger fish to fry to try to. Because they're talented enough to go against your Gators. I don't know the bracket, how it'll shape out, but they both could meet in the Final Four or the national championship game for sure.
And they're probably a 1 seed even if
100%.
No matter what happens.
No matter what happens, they're a 1 seed.
Yeah. So why would you play them?
Yeah. Why play them? And Shire alluded to that last night when he's like, we have the NCAA tournament to try to win national championship. So it's almost like why play them?
Okay. So all right, final thing for you. What in your world, and again, I know a lot of college football and basketball coaches, and you sign up for the moving all over the place. That's part of it. What happens now with your staff? It's a good staff. You don't go to the dang Final Four last year if it's not a good staff.
Absolutely.
So what happens now, Kareem? Do you look around, you see what's out there, you catch your breath? What happens for not just you but the staff?
Yeah, a little bit of all that. Like, we're all obviously we're very tight. Even with I've known Brett for a long time, but we just text or call and each other, make sure see if anybody's hearing. Things are now starting to. The domino effect is starting to happen a little bit. So just kind of keep our eyes and ears to the ground and see what may happen, what fits, what doesn't fit. But it's hard. It's hard. I mean, you got thousands of people fighting for the same position. So a lot of luck takes into play, reputation, which all of us have great reputations in the business. So knock on wood, we'll all land on our feet. But it sucks for the families. Everybody on our staff has kids, and whether it's high school or younger. Brett has by the way, he's going to be a phenomenal player. He's got an 8th grader who played varsity.
Oh, wow.
There in North Carolina. He can shoot it, as you can imagine. Brett could shoot it. But that part sucks, having to try to figure it out for the kids. But hopefully they're resilient like most times, and we'll all land and figure this thing out.
Kareem Richardson, we've heard a lot about you from this guy. He's one of our favorites, and I know you're his favorite. So, Rich, appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate you bringing Kareem by. And I can't wait till tomorrow, and I can't wait till Sunday, and I hope you're right about the weather. It looks like, because everything's been so perfect. This thing has been perfect. So
appreciate that, Frank. And the only thing that I would say is that when we walk around, I mean, if you look at him, can you tell who was the golfer and who was the basketball player, or is it hard to determine?
There's no question that you probably don't spend maybe quite as much time in the gym. I mean, it's close. Close. Yeah, and by the way, and I'm with you, bro. It kind of takes one to know one, okay?
Exactly.
So I can relate more with you. So, but fellas, thank you. We appreciate that. Take a break. Hays is back with the headlines after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
The Players Championship. Here's a 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Leaderboard update.
I'm Max Fink with your Players Championship update. This update brought to you by Kingfish Pest Control and Beaver Chevrolet and Beaver Toyota. Man, Justin Thomas is playing his A game today. He just rolled in his 4th straight birdie. He is now currently sitting at 3 under par, well inside the cut line. The 2021 champ came out of nowhere after shooting a 6 over 78 yesterday. He'd like to continue this good golf throughout the weekend. Some scoring conditions will definitely get tougher as we get closer to Sunday, with some rain and storms moving in later on in the day. Not much movement at the top of the leaderboard today. Akshay Bhatia and Minwoo Lee sit there at 11 under par, trying to get to that $25 million purse. The winner gets $4.5 million. Back in 1974 at the first ever Players Championship at Atlantic Country Club, the purse total was $250,000, and the winner, the Bear, Jack Nicklaus, took home $50,000. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in about 20 minutes with another update. I'm Max Fink.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or catered desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
Spring and summer are coming. Will your pool deck be ready? Don't Slip Deck Coatings of Jacksonville has you covered. Their multi-layered slip-resistant coatings come in a variety of colors, adding safety, durability, and style to your outdoor spaces. Plus, they offer slip-resistant solutions for inside your home, too. Long-lasting, affordable, and built to protect your family. Don't wait. Call today for a free quote, 904-466-1839. And follow Don't Slip Jacks on Facebook and Instagram.
Happy New Year from everyone at Nimnik Chevrolet. Now look, as they begin 2025, Nimnik is so excited to offer even more choices and better prices for you, ensuring your car buying experience is second to none. And if you're wondering where to go for a better buying experience, it's simple. Nobody but Nimnik. So here's to another year of driving forward together. And don't forget now, in this new year means new truck time at Nimnik Chevrolet. This month, you can save up to $12,000 off a new Silverado. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnik Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. And with their extensive selection, you're sure to find the perfect truck at Nimnik. Available now, the all-new Silverado EV, designed to go the distance. It boasts 440 miles of range, more standard range than any competitor, and ask about a terrific low rate as well. So who's got more new Silverados at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnik. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
This is Hays Carlyon for Harold & Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold & Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold & Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Frank Frangie here for Bono's Pit Barbecue. Bono's has been serving Jacksonville's best barbecue for over 75 years. And now, catch this. Bono's new limited time offer features an Atlantic fried cod platter with 2 pieces of mouth-watering fried cod and 1 southern side for $15.49, or a fried cod sandwich with 1 southern side for $12.99. You can't beat that deal. And after 1 bite, you'll be hooked. So you better hurry in. The fried cod platter right now at Bono's. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
When it's time for new tires, you can count on Big Chief Tire for quality and value. Frank Frangie here. Their expert team will help you quickly find the right fit, ensuring a safe, comfortable ride. With quality options, fair prices, and quick installation, you'll be back on the road in no time. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 today to schedule your appointment and roll into 2025 with great confidence. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Mia O'Brien is going to be the first woman president of the United States of America.
Catch me weekdays from noon to 2 on Helmets and Heels.
And she could run later this year even, and I would vote for her.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota on 1010XL.
The 2025 NFL season is right around the corner, and the Jags are building something special. A fresh team, a new culture, and a stadium that's going to change the game. Be there to witness head coach Liam Cohen and the rest of the coaching crew in action by securing your season tickets today. Become a member to get access to exclusive experiences, VIP events, and more. Visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you at the bank this fall.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Tired of weekend projects turning into weekend disasters? You're not alone. Building a fence isn't as easy as it looks. Let's face it, your neighbor Steve still hasn't fixed his lopsided masterpiece. But Superior Fence and Rail makes it easy. Highly trained professionals, top quality materials, and a fence you'll love for years to come. Skip the stress and call the pros today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round.
It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harold & Harold. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. We're out here at the Players at the Stadium Course. A magnificent day. JJ LaSelva back at World Headquarters. Frank, we were going to get started with the Jaguars. They released a great behind-the-scenes video today. Their digital team does such a great job, and this was really cool. 2.5 minutes long, but it showed Gladstone, Baselli, Cohen reacting to getting their guys. And I thought a really cool peek behind the curtain of the Jaguar Brain Trust.
I can't wait to see it. Patrick Cavanaugh, who runs that digital department, does such a good job, was telling me about it. And I haven't had a chance to watch it yet because we've been out here all day, but I can't wait to watch it. And here's what I can tell you. Number one, you're so right. They're so freaking good at that stuff. It's the tip of the iceberg. I think you're going to see the hunt is back. I think you're going to see that's a trailer for wait till you see the whole thing. So I can't wait to watch the trailer, to your point, and wait till you see the whole presentation that they're going to announce when. Did they announce when it's coming?
I'm not sure. I didn't see that.
They're going to announce. I don't want to get ahead or step out of my lane here, but they're going to announce when it's coming. Those guys are unbelievable. They're unbelievably good. They're unbelievably creative, and I can't wait to watch. So I have not seen the 2.5 minute one.
You're going to enjoy it.
But everybody's been raving about it. Not just you. Everybody's been. So I can't wait to see it. And remember now, then you're going to get a whole episode of that. That's just the trailer. So, I'm excited, and I can't wait to watch. I'm glad you brought it up.
Jaguars general manager James Gladstone met with J.P. Shadrick and Jeff Lageman, and they talked about how much he loved De'Ami Brown coming out of college. And obviously, Gladstone was working with the Rams a few years ago when Brown was coming out of North Carolina. And it was funny. So James was telling the story to J.P. and Jeff about, once we got De'Ami Brown, Les Snead, the current Rams general manager, who obviously brought Gladstone into the business, texted him. And he texted him Gladstone's evaluation of Brown coming out of college, his draft evaluation. And it was funny. So James read it. Deep threat with the potential to be so much more. And obviously, it kind of added some backstory to how much James Gladstone has been a big fan of De'Ami Brown since his days as a draft prospect.
I've been telling you this. He is such a critical piece for a myriad of reasons, Hays. Not the least of which is, hey, if he finds him, if he uncovers something with him, we've just learned something about James Gladstone's ability to uncover. All right, uncover someone to the point you've made with not a lot of evidence. Your point all along is the reason you have some concern is nothing he did wrong. He just hasn't done enough right? So if we can find that, I'm telling you, if De'Ami Brown winds up being what they think he might wind up being, boy, could that really highlight that free agent signing class.
A couple updates on some former Jaguars. Quarterback Gardner Minshew is signing with the Chiefs to back up Patrick Mahomes.
That's fantastic. Who doesn't like Gardner, number one? Shame on you if you don't. He's a good dude, works hard, very respected, but he's probably not an NFL starter. He's just probably not, and that's okay, by the way. There's an awful lot of well-paid backups that make a lot of money and have great careers, and some wind up coaching down the road, which I think he's going to do. But if you're probably not an NFL starter, and he's been on enough teams now. He's been in Jacksonville and with the Raiders and with the Colts, and what better team to be the backup? What better quarterback to back up than if that's where you settle in your career? It's with the Chiefs. Good for Gardner. I was happy to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, there's another update. Dante Fowler Jr., who obviously was here for a number of years. He's been gone for a while. But he's got another crack at it going back to Dallas. He was with Washington last year. But Dante Fowler Jr. now a Cowboy as they kind of look to replace DeMarcus Lawrence.
I think he's the guy that can help a team. He's much like Caleb on Chason, who you're probably going to read out in a minute, who also just got a contract.
I actually don't have that in here. Okay. Chason to the Patriots.
Yeah, so it's okay. I didn't want to jump you. But when I saw Chason to the Patriots and Fowler to the Cowboys, my thought was the same about both of them. They're one-dimensional players. Dante can be a real diva at times. But in terms of just third and long pass rushers, they could both be. Dante could be a pretty good player. Man, Chason will probably need to see more than just the end of last year. But Dante Fowler can be a pretty good player. He could probably help the cause as a pass rusher. And he probably landed in a good place for him.
Absolutely. Let's get to college football. Florida coach Billy Napier says Gators receiver Trey Wilson looks like $1 million after recovering from hip surgery. I tell you what, Frank, with Trey Wilson, Sturdivant, Dallas Wilson, Vernell Brown, Tank Hawkins, how are you feeling about Florida's receiving corps?
I will tell you this, and I am trying so hard not to be a homer guy, which is dumb because I've always been a homer guy, but not to be over the top. But I can't find a room that I don't think has a lot of good players. I think that receiving corps The freshmen, normally you don't get caught up in freshmen, but I think the two freshmen, Vernell Brown and Dallas Wilson, looked the part on the video you see. Sturdivant was certainly very good at UCLA. Trey Wilson, if he ever gets it figured out health-wise and they have a good system and they protect the quarterback, is an NFL player. I don't think there's any debating that. He's possibly a good NFL player. I love the room. I will tell you, I've told you this off air, I'll tell you this on air. I am concerned because pitchers have arm problems. Quarterbacks don't. Quarterbacks don't have shoulder problems. Quarterbacks don't have, or whatever he has. Quarterbacks don't have arm problems. So I'm concerned that DJ Lagway still isn't throwing. For a quarterback to play this much and not throw, I hope, and I have no insight on it. I'm not saying I know something. I really don't know anything. But DJ Lagway completely healthy, if he takes the next step, boy, they can have a really good football team. I mean, they're going to have a great offensive line that returns. They've got defensive playmakers now. Look, it wasn't a brutal schedule down the stretch, but they won 4 in a row. 2 of those were against ranked teams now. So, yes, I'm very encouraged what they can be, and I think the receiving core, to your point, is one of the many very, very, very good rooms they have.
We'll get to the Players' Championship as we are out here at gorgeous Sawgrass at the stadium course. Rory McIlroy made a big charge today. He is 2 back at 9 under. Do you like McIlroy going into the weekend?
Yeah, I do. I don't know if he's who I'd pick today, but yeah, I think he's playing really well. He's already won. And he's won, and obviously he's won at Pebble, so he's won at one of the cathedrals, as he calls it. He's playing really well. I think all the politics, notwithstanding what happened in the practice round where the Texas golfer popped off and he grabbed the phone and all that.
Yeah, what an odd story.
Yeah, but that notwithstanding, he seems to be in a good place emotionally, physically. Rory's having more of a bounce-back year. Let me rephrase that. He's had more of a bounce-back start to his year than I might have expected.
Let's get it to the cut here at the Players' Championship because it's projected right now at 1 under par. There are 71 golfers currently at 1 under. Some names that are fighting that as we look at it. You look at guys like Justin Rose. He's done for the day. He's even. Hideki Matsuyama right now, even. He's somebody that a lot of people like. Shane Lowry, even right now.
Where's the cut?
Through 14. So it's at 1 under right now is the projected cut. And obviously that can change. It looks like Xander Schauffele should be okay. He finished his round at 1 under for today. So in looking at it, there's going to be some nervous golf coming up for some of these big-time players here in the next hour and a half.
Here's my question. 2 of my favorite things. J.J. LaSelva is one of my favorite people. And Bono's ribs are some of my favorite food. That's all I'm going to tell you, Hayes. Okay, I'm not going to draw any other connection.
Ludwig Aberg, man. I hate Sweden. I always have. Like, leave the meatballs to us and my people, guys. Seriously. But, yeah, he is on the cut. I think he has to birdie one of the last 2 holes to even make the cut. And I told you guys about 3 hours ago, I've already waved the white flag, and I will be the first Loser Monday of this new year.
He is. JJ has sent that out to us earlier. Ludwig Aberg, his pick, is on number 16 at +1. So he's got to get underneath.
I believe he's even.
Yeah, he's even for the tournament. He's +1 on the round.
So he still could make, I guess,
he could.
The cut, but it's going to be hard.
For the tournament.
So getting us to the Loser Monday update. So my guy Colin Morikawa is at 9 under. Frank, your guy Scotty Scheffler at 5 under. And then really the drama on the bet right now is what JJ alluded to. Will Ludwig Aberg, I still don't even know how to pronounce his name.
It's Oberg.
That's what I thought.
We pronounce it.
But then I heard somebody say Aberg today, so I don't know.
It's Oberg. How to say
the guy that lives in Nocatee from here named Ludwig.
By the way, I will say this, joking aside, if he birdies a couple, all of a sudden he gets to 2-1.
Without a doubt.
Then we're all still in it. It's not like in other sports where once you're down 9, it doesn't work.
Which is why we didn't respond to you, JJ.
Yeah, we weren't doing
because
it. I wasn't jinxing it, JJ.
This isn't our first rodeo, so trust me. Frank and I have both mastered the send the text early and try to reverse jinx the universe.
I'm a reverse jinxer as well, but this time, like, Morikawa looked so good today, and Scotty's just Scotty, so
you've got your work cut out, but I wouldn't say it's over yet. But you do need a birdie probably in these next few holes for Mr. Ludwig Oberg. So it will be interesting to see. One thing, if he does make the cut, that could help you and help some of the guys that barely make it to the weekend potentially make a big run on moving day tomorrow. Frank, high winds are projected. It's been very tepid these first 2 rounds, but tomorrow we're seeing forecasted winds up to 19 miles an hour. Obviously with gusts it could be even more. So do you think tomorrow the guys playing late could be facing what could be a pretty treacherous course?
I do. I think. And look now, Hays. Look around. It's not even blowing.
I mean, it's not even moving.
The wind's not even moving. It moved a little today. But, yeah, the front's coming through. The same front that's bringing the rain on Sunday at some point is bringing the wind first tomorrow. Yes, I think we could see a very different leaderboard tomorrow at this time, 5:36 on Saturday. I think the leaderboard could look significantly different, to your point, than it does now.
In the world of college basketball, the Gators are returning to action tonight at 7 o'clock against Missouri. The Gators, of course, enjoying the double bye in the SEC tournament as the 2 seed. The Tigers beat Mississippi State 85-73 last night. And Missouri, of course, beat UF in Gainesville 83-82 on January 14th, 2 months exactly to the day. Frank, what kind of trouble could the Gators be in tonight? How do you think the game goes?
The teams are all good. They're all good, but I think Florida's playing at a high level. I think they're rested. They're a 9.5-point favorite for a reason in this game. I would find myself very surprised if Florida loses the game tonight. You never know now. I mean, again, there's a lot. Those teams are all. You're talking about a bunch of NCAA tournament teams playing against each other. When a bunch of NCAA tournament teams get together, no telling, right? I mean, so it's a bunch of tournament teams playing against each other. But I would be very surprised if Missouri after tonight, then it's anybody's game. And then if we get to tomorrow and it's Auburn, Tennessee, Alabama, Florida, then anybody can beat anybody. And I think Kentucky's the 5th team that I put in that group. But I'd be surprised if Missouri wins tonight.
Yeah, we'll give you an update on kind of what's been going on in Nashville. So Texas has been the story so far because they were on the outside looking in terms of the NCAA tournament. They upset Texas A&M 94-89 in double overtime last night. So the Longhorns have now won 2 games in the SEC tournament. They are playing Tennessee right now in the second half. So it was tied at halftime. I don't know exactly where that score is. Maybe, JJ, can you please help us with that maybe in the next minute or so? It was 41-38 Tennessee at half, but that is obviously Texas may have done enough already to be in because losing to Tennessee obviously doesn't hurt you too bad. They're one of the elite teams in the country, but something that we'll monitor. Kentucky beat Ole Miss 85-84 last night. Wild finish there. Oklahoma looked like they were going to rally and take advantage of a Wildcats meltdown until Kentucky hit almost basically a buzzer beater to survive. The Wildcats play Alabama tonight after the Florida-Missouri game. There has already been one final today in the SEC tournament. Auburn on to the semifinal. They take down Ole Miss 62-57.
And it looks like Tennessee, sorry, Frank, but quickly, it looks like Tennessee's going to go to the semis because they're up 14 with only 4 minutes to play.
Okay, so Tennessee pulled away in the second half.
Pulled away, yeah. I will tell you this. Here's what's interesting about it. Winning the SEC tournament matters. Every team goes there to win. They're not worried about rust or rest or getting someone hurt. You go there to win the thing, and everybody goes there. Everybody that goes there to win. There's no question about that. So there's no denying that. But other than that, it's going to sound crazy. Other than a conference championship, and I shouldn't say that because it means it's almost anticlimactic because all these teams are not only in, but to your point earlier, Hays, they might already have their seeding pretty much in place. So it's pride and a championship is what they're all playing for. And by the way, and I love that because it does matter. But rarely have we gotten to Saturday the SEC tournament or even her Friday the SEC tournament and so little is on the line in terms of tournament berths. Now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Almost always, there's tournament berths left and right. I think they're all decided.
Yeah, it's a good point. We'll mention the ACC tournament here. Round 3 of Duke, North Carolina is tonight at 7 o'clock in the ACC semifinals. We just found out Cooper Flagg will not play tonight with the ankle injury. North Carolina maybe has already done enough to get in. They were on the wrong side of the bubble. It looked like, according to the experts, they've won a couple games in this tournament already, but obviously beat Duke tonight. And then it's obvious the Tar Heels are in.
Yeah, I'll say this. I said it to you yesterday. I'll say it again today. I know there's a lot of metrics and and what's your net and who have you beaten in quad one wins, I have a hard time thinking there's 68 better teams in North Carolina. I know that's not what it is. It's 31 better teams and then the automatic qualifiers. I get it. But there's not 68 better teams in North Carolina.
We will get you out on our musical note of the day as we get into pop culture. Ted Lasso is back, Frank.
When's it
officially.
when?
Season 4 is officially a go with Jason Sudeikis returning. The show has been nominated for 61 Emmys, winning 13. This is the theme song by Mumford & Sons. We don't know a lot of details. The early detail is that Sudeikis is Ted Lasso will be coaching a women's team, but all the key characters are coming back, so it will be magnificent. Can't wait for it.
I can't wait either. One of the best television products, most uplifting, fun, funny product to come around in a long time. Great news as well. Let's come back and wrap the program live from the Players after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold & Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
The Players Championship. Here's a 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Leaderboard update.
We're rounding out day 2 of the Players. I'm Max Fink with your Players Championship update, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson and San Jose Collision. Let's take a quick look at the low rounds of the day. Colin Morikawa and Charlie Hoffman both shot a 65. Minwoo Lee, Harris English, the Georgia Bulldog, Tommy Fleetwood, and Akshay Bhatia are one of the clubhouse leaders. They both shot 66, but it looks like Justin Thomas is on pace for the round of the day. He's currently 9 under on hole number 16. The 2021 champ and 2-time major winner is comfortably going to slip into the weekend as he's currently 3 under, making the cut line of 1 under. And then let's show some love to J.J. Spawn, the San Diego State Aztec. He's one back of the 2 clubhouse leaders after his round 1 66 and his round 2 68. He's looking for his second ever PGA Tour win. We've got one more update coming your way around the top of the hour, so stay tuned. And once again, I'm Max Fink with your Players Championship update.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
With Selection Sunday coming up, the Duke Blue Devils, despite an ankle injury to Cooper Flagg, are the betting favorites to win the NCAA championship. Duke at plus 320, while the Auburn Tigers, who are the top seed in the SEC, plus 375. The Florida Gators, plus 650, while the Houston Cougars out of the Big 12, plus 750. Alabama is plus 1,000 to win the national championship. Tom Izzo and Michigan State plus 1,600. Rick Pitino and St. John's also plus 1,600. And the Tennessee Volunteers plus 2,000. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Florida heat is no joke. Is your air conditioner ready for it? At Duck Duck Air Conditioning, we've got a crazy offer just for you. We're giving away free AC inspections to our wonderful customers who now call and schedule. One of our expert techs will come look at your AC unit and make recommendations to ensure it's running at peak performance. But you must act today. A deal this good won't last forever. Call 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Air Conditioning. DuckDuckAC.com. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
Learn more about the beautiful game of soccer and its impact on the River City.
What a beautiful thing to behold.
Get an hour of soccer talk on the Sporting Jack Soccer Hour.
That's all I want to know.
Tuesday at 6 p.m. on 1010 a.m.
Lauren Brooks here. At Hodges Mazda, they are proud of their solid reputation in the Jacksonville community. As your hometown Mazda dealer, their high customer service standards and their huge inventory of new and used cars provide their customers a consistently first-rate car buying experience. Their professional, non-commissioned sales team puts your best interests first without exception. And all new vehicle purchases include the Hodges Mazda Protection Package. Visit them online at HodgesMazda.com or stop in today to learn more and discover the Hodges Mazda difference.
Hi, I'm Malcolm Anthony. When you've been charged with a crime, you don't have to face it alone. I'm here for you. Stay out of trouble, but if you don't, call me. 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW in the 904.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. When it comes to banking, I trust South
State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Don't miss the Players Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scottie Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
When you hear Florida Gators baseball on 1010XL, it's brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Florida Gators, and Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars.
Lots of jewelry stores in the town center, but only one is locally owned, Beard's Diamonds.
We're the only local jewelry store at the town center.
That's Jacksonville's John Lupo, owner of Beard's for over 4 decades.
We're entrenched in Jacksonville, Florida.
In a sea of mega chain jewelers, John says it's easy to stand out because he's not handcuffed by a corporate handbook.
I am not beholden to a corporate structure, so we've got flexibility to do whatever we can and want, and we do.
And that includes lowering prices to undercut them every day.
Quality for quality, color for color, everything the same. We should be able to beat them hands down by minimum 20%. We go overseas ourselves. We know exactly what we're buying. This isn't getting marked up in a corporate structure. We will beat anybody's price anywhere.
So before you buy anything at one of those chains, get a second opinion at locally owned Beard's Diamonds. No corporate atmosphere, no corporate rules, no corporate high markups.
We want you to come shop us and you'll see a lot better price here.
Beard's Diamonds.
Everybody gets a good deal at Beard's.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
This is head coach Matthew Driscoll from the UNF men's basketball team. When our players suffer an orthopedic injury, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists gets our players back on the court pain-free.
We appreciate the endorsements from our high school and college coaches. This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. Next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web. Precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to ITPPartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 87.
All right, where have we been on the course of the program today? Well, we talked a little bit of golf. You can imagine that. Day 2 of the Players, another gorgeous, spectacularly gorgeous day, is in the books here, and it's been a blast watching fantastic golf by now. You know the leaders that are 11 under, and we'll see what winds up happening tomorrow. We've also talked a little basketball. It was good having Kareem Richardson here, longtime assistant coach very well respected at numerous schools, most recently NC State, where he was the lead assistant to Kevin Keats, and they went to the Final Four a year ago. Unfortunately, had a tough year this year and got blown out, so which happens sometimes. So, but it was great catching up with him, and of course, our friend Lee Smith stopped by. He's the executive director here at the Players Championship as well. Love what's happened. The storyline, I think, essentially is they think they'll get it all in. They don't think they're going to have to move up the start times, but there is rain at some point on Sunday and some wind coming tomorrow. Pete Prisco stopped by as well to talk NFL and give us his thoughts on the Jaguar signing class, and that is the cool down. That's where we have been today on the program. Now let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
Rick Ballou joins us today. Rick, were you out today at all? You were here. I saw you today. You were here today.
Yeah. I know we're getting a little bit older, but did you already forget? For crying out loud, we had a conversation for about 45 minutes.
You know, I bumped. It might not have been quite that long, but that is how old I'm getting. That's how old my memory has gotten.
I saw Hays out there too. Yeah, I saw everyone over there. Yeah,
Rick, were you here today? Yeah, dumbass. I saw you walking into the media room. So that's exactly right. So,
yeah.
What were your thoughts coming out of today, Rick? What you think?
Amazed by 6. I finally made my trip out there after talking about it, all week, and for weekend hacks like me, it would be petrifying, and I know it's been a little bit of a factor, at least mentally, for these golfers, most particularly with Matt Fitzpatrick, who really had a lot of unfortunate things to say about it. But just loved it. I'm a little biased here because I love the tournament so much. But this has been one of the greatest Fridays that I can ever remember at the Players' Championship. If you take in the weather, just how friendly everyone seems, and that includes Jaguar fans. It's like they forgot about the 4-13 already. Everything is pointing forward in this city, so it was just great to see people, and all the questions that I get, and I'm sure you guys get, are positive because I'm a glass half full guy, and I love talking about positive things, and that's the way it was out there today at TPC.
I'll say this I 100% agree with that. Of the 51 of these, I've probably been to about 47 of them. I've probably been to 47 Players Championship Fridays, and I think you're dead on. I think it was a huge crowd today. Mm-hmm. Great weather today. Rick makes a great point. Jaguar fans in a really good mood when you see Jaguar fans out here. Everyone loves being out here for the golf. It was a great Friday. I think you said that exactly right. And I hope it's a great Saturday and a great Sunday too. So we're looking forward to it. Rick, what's coming up tonight?
Well, we got all that. We'll keep folks updated, particularly on Justin Thomas, who has an opportunity here at a course record. Of course, Tom Hoagie did it just a few years ago when he shot a 62. So a few holes left here for JT, who yesterday had it where he could have shot an 80 before birdieing his last 2 holes to post a 78. But it's been a record-setting day for him. We'll get everyone updated, including what the cut line is going to be. So fired up over the next couple of hours.
All right, Rick. Thanks, buddy. Rick Ballou goes into the night, and that comes up right now. That'll do it for our program. We've certainly enjoyed coming out here. We do want to thank our buddy Richie, our engineer, who works so hard setting all this stuff up and does a magnificent job. What do you think tonight? Gators in Mizzou?
Gators, but close. Gators by 4.
Gators in a close game. Don't cover, but win the game. It'll be fun to watch. Folks, that'll do it for our program. Thanks for being part of it. Don't go anywhere, though. Rick Ballou goes into the night right now. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.